Well, welcome back. We're going to be heading into Overpass in just about a wee bit second and a bunch. I do believe we've still got a slight timeout situation going on, but that's the reset and that's all you need.
That's the freeze time. We're jumping into the pistol, so a nice amount of utility here for CR. Ruben and Risk both having the respectively Starry unsilenced USP. Don't know if that was intentional or not, but he certainly makes his presence known and backing away nicely over towards Long gets that USP reassembled, and at distance will try and take these fights. Isn't even concerned about him running him down, but he's taken so long to try and retreat that he will eventually get taken. CR with a nice opener, but already making their presence known over towards this A site. They've reinforced it on Lynn.
G. Caught up by the flashes and he is being forced away. Wenzy with the quick double. Nice to see. That ascension into the A-bomb side. Zaka, who's trying to wait for the late round, might never have it. Westmelon as well comes through with a quick kill. Kira down and out. And Zaka also, who's been allowed to stay and lurk for so long, has made this into a somewhat competitive situation. Still, lack of a kit will make it troublesome, but as he waits for the heads to start showing themselves, the CTs will instead be forced to aggress. Westmelon gets another one for free, but the bomb is ticking away. Not all that much time left on it, and Westmelon's been left all alone. Now Kit been recovered, but it will be too late. Kate can take him down.
Yeah, nice stuff there from Wenzy, just continuing to progress on that A play, and you could see that Lynn weren't expecting them to try and wrap the other side of Dice so quickly. Both players unaware of that potential. And once they were able to establish that control and get through to bank, then just planting in such a strong post plant. I have no idea how Zacher even kind of found himself inside of that smoke, but you could tell that CR had kind of lost track of any of the additional reinforcements that Lynn had set up on the site. Doesn't matter though. Some nice shots from Westmelon, but what can you do when Wenzy gets one more than you? The USPs and a singular HE here for Lynn. They've stacked this B-bomb site, and if they get any contact out from Monster, this nade will likely hit the face of a CR Gaming player. Problem being that there are no players even considering that potential.
That's a big problem.
Not interested.
How does one hit a
catch.
face if a face is not there?
Which came first, the head or the headshot?
I think there's a slightly more definitive answer to that one.
Yeah, almost certainly.
Yeah. I mean, you know, maybe if you think, I don't know, like bow and arrows or something predating, but even then, but whatever, man. It's fun. This is a game of guns. So now we wait to see where the headshots will come in from. And they will come in at all 5 USBs, all trying to trail back in from CT spawn. Basically, no investment, so Envision just hoping to find a couple of kills if that is possible. Do some damage. Ruben's had damage done to him, but his life's not been taken out. That's not the kind of damage I was talking about.
Yeah, Ruben's got to run. And they still had Kira just holding the flank for the longest time, but all these players are being brought down so low by just simply the pistols here of Lynn, so they need to really get distance from this bomb, and you can tell that Lynn are just trying to hunt for extra damage if possible. Risk will secure his exit, and the Star can somehow catch him on this cross. Will not succeed, and the bomb will take nobody with it, so it's a lot of damage, but ultimately keeping 4 afloat. CR are more than satisfied with how that round has played out. Lynn back in with a full buy, and they'll have an AWP that will be uncontested. This is the big shift for people that haven't been keeping up with Lynn as of late, when they picked up G, an AWPer that had played previously for New Happy in 2021, and then Take Me Away towards the start of this year. He's an AWPer, and that has shifted Zacher into primary rifling roles, but he's been looking good on the rifles, and G, just about as impressive on the AWP.
He's brought in a very different style to what we were getting from Zacher before. It's been a lot more conservative, maybe not conservative, but a lot more defined, right? Just, hey, I'm not going to go for a crazy shot. Even if I go for an aggressive angle, I'm going to hold it for a little while, see if I can get a kill. If not, I'll fade away. Very classic being sort of in that vein. G, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Self-boosted himself up on Long earlier on, so it's not like he's not contending for early opening duels and the like, but we'll just back off and not do some repeat shenanigans. Starry, meanwhile, waiting for this smoke to start dissipating, but as he fades away, because he's worried about it being phased itself, Ruben will be taking the duel forward. Star is generally a menace in toilets and will come out on top though.
Yeah, Wenzi was starting to look at the long side of bathrooms to try and clear that with the bomb on back of Risk. Had to make sure that that package didn't go down. And as a result, he's just unable to trade. So a 5-on-3 that will be kind of hard to crack. They do have a third player floating over towards the B bomb site, so Zacher and G could be under a little bit of pressure here, but G still has that long line over towards the bathrooms, and he's just hitting shot after shot. Really simple looking stuff, but Zacher there as well to prevent the push. Risk can do very little in this round, and will opt for a save. He should be able to even drop a weapon over if that's a total necessity. The CR get met at the gates, and that's just in with Lynn's first gun round.
And honestly, I'm really excited about G because of this reason. I've been thinking about this for a while, Michael. I think G could end up being the successor to Kaze in many regards, right? Because the Asian CS scene, you've got Dan King, you've got Annihilation. These guys have got their own sort of flair, their own sort of interesting whips, so to speak, right? You know, Dan King's got those crazy repeats, flicky shots and everything, very high mechanical ceiling, likes to make plays but can overstep very often. Annihilation's been known for its clutches more than anything else and the like with it that comes into it. But G's been stable, right? He's been good. He hits every like 80% shot, it seems like, and he takes a lot of them. So it does feel like could be the next big Kaze-esque player.
Yeah, and because he's a young guy, you know, the biggest pressure, or I guess the biggest question will be how he handles pressure, because that's been something that's been rough for Lynn in the past. They've actually sort of crumbled under international opportunities and the exposure of it.
Emilia, though, very seldom does he crumble through, keeps the spray going. Westmelon as well can double up with a secondary peak to come through. Emilia is low, but he's also A-okay. Alright, he's going to peek back out over, and with this much of an advantage gained early on, Envision are once again not just in the driver's seat, they've got the entire car for themselves.
Yeah, they even called an extra rotate away from that A-bomb site, but because of how easily they handled the monster push, they just reset back to standard 3-2. CR Gaming waited, they pumped the brakes just to see if they would in fact retract the extra reinforcements. Now Risk will survey outside of Monster. Not finding anything for it though, but a lot of counter util after the singular flash of CR. That will stop them from any preventative utility on actually moving into this site, but they're detached from the bombs still, but these two players are still hunting for an opening duel in some capacity, but are gonna end up empty-handed. Ruben's lurk as well, sussed out, so it looks a bit all over the place, but when you lose two players through Monster at the very start, you do have to try and claw your way back into the round somehow.
Unfortunately, they do no damage to Envision in the process, right? You had 4 alive in the previous round, 5 of a hair, and very likely going to see at least 4 going out of this one as well, as they are pulling together the full save. If there was ever a time to thank your lucky wallets, this would be it for Lynn.
Isn't that back-to-back 5 alive, actually?
No, they lost 1 in the previous.
At the very end, huh?
Towards the end on long? Yeah. Oh. Well. Good neutral damage being stacked up as well. Sorry, Wenzi, you're just a victim of shrapnel.
Yeah, Starry, nice 3-piece. Did so independently. We still had his AWP and G covering off his retreat. Now we'll cover his mid.
He's so consistent, man.
Yeah, just to pick up on that point I was mentioning last time, because when we actually saw them in the finals against Wings Up last season, G was actually one of those players that I think before that point had actually had some like very solid performances on that AWP, but we actually saw him, I wouldn't say buckle under the pressure, but he wasn't hitting the shots that we're seeing him hit right now. You know, the consistent, oh, I'm getting a relatively dry peak. He'd missed some of those shots, and that was where you start to be concerned about whether or not he was sort of ready for the level that Lynn were trying to compete for, but they'll get a chance to show that off at ESL Pro League, and, well, at the start of this season, well, geez, looking extra confident.
I think dry peaks is one of the things that you mentioned that should be remembered very specifically, though, as well, of course, as we start to think about the next season of Pro League, which is still quite far away.
Yeah, how would he deal with the bombardment of flashes?
Yes, the good old heroic treatment, which is flash, 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 flash. Oh, well, I'm just dead.
Ooh.
Nice nade sack.
God, how did he know? He started making his way over towards pillar just as those nades were getting lined up. Could have taken so much more damage.
One thing we never doubted, it is the capacity of Westmelon's grey matter.
Yeah.
Or the fact that he is indeed the best melon.
The only melon. Wins by default.
Best kind of win.
Well, they're getting
K to 5-on-3.
picked apart across the map. After G's opener, they slowed things down and that lurk found nothing. The bomb is just not even rendezvousing with any of the remaining players. They're still so spread.
Westmelon does actually end up going down, and the B bomb side doesn't have any forward-facing players because of it. G has come through to try and cover off and shore up any sort of lackings. In the meanwhile, Deep Flash is going forward. Ruben is able to scale through, but the problem is you do have 2 players in heaven, 2 players down below, and now Wenzi and Kara are thinking the better of it. They want nothing to do with the situation. And Lynn Vision, again, 4 players kept alive.
Yeah, money's continuing to build here for the CT side. You can see that Amelia's already on 10k. Westmelon, the poorest of them, and will have to buy even further down. But his teammates have reserves, so yeah, this is looking pretty good. As soon as they got their hands onto rifles, CR have not been able to get even a half-convincing look in on these rounds. Just losing an opening fight in the opening kind of 20-30 seconds. And it's really stifling the plans of what GR want to be able to do in these mid rounds.
Oh. Rare miss coming out from D, but that is one of the more aggressive peaks that he has gone for. Double connector, and Starry needs to be careful. Obviously, he's one of the other players that we have been highlighting a lot from Linvasion, just to be kept an eye out for. Seems to be one of the few who are absolutely ready for international competition from Asia. And have had some deliverances. Good flashbang, only good for the 1 kill. Gwenzi, just Wenzi, not Gwenzi. Wenzi trades it out.
Wenzi quelling in connector. Ooh, and Westmelon will find a counter kill over at Monster. G will eventually find Wenzi, who is trying his best to find some level of counteraction. Spotting 2 Monster, you need to try and take some space elsewhere. But that was not the one. G never really left. Took that deep peek in through middle and still hovered around. I love that they play these more forward setups here on the side of Lynn. They watch a lot of Rare Adam, watch a lot of the Mongols as well, and sometimes they just play hyper defensive. But you can see how difficult it is for CR when they are playing forward like this.
Timing. Kate's actually got himself very close inside the bomb site. The problem is, again, it is just a 2v4, right? So you will see them start to lean back over towards the B bomb side as well. You've got Amelia and Westmelon here to cover off. 10 seconds out on the clock. A single flashbang's all you've got available. So you can't even push through the smoke. Westmelon's found Kate, and yeah, once again, 4 alive. This is now 5 rounds from Lynn Vision where they have kept 4 or more alive.
With how low the time was there, and that smoke coming down towards barrels, you have to take a risk. You know, it's obviously not great to run through a smoke there, but by the time that smoke dissipates, you've got, what, 8 seconds, and you have 0 margin for error. Even if you find 1 player defending the bomb site, it's very likely there'll be a second floating. There could be 1 heaven with a Molotov or an HE that could just disrupt your whole round. You have to take a risk, and CR were just stopped in their place. You know, understanding that they were at a heavy man deficit. They didn't want to jump through and not have a fair gunfight.
Well, first opening kill that we've had in quite a while, going the way of CL Gaming, so maybe there's still something to be done over here. Kira can just pick up the deagle, he's A-okay with that.
One flash won't cut it.
G, however, will. Cuts Kate apart, actually. Ball control is not actually still maintained, though. This time, there isn't just the 1 player coming out from CR. There are a few more maybe headed over. Kira's definitely flirting with the idea of going through, but after recovering the AK, he decides against it. Still, 4-on-4 with a just about enough utility left to try and go for a B-side and execute, right? You've got the Heaven Smoke, you've got a Molotov and a Flashbang, so maybe something to be done, especially with the... God. Gotta get off silently, guys.
It's alright, no one's in earshot anyway. But they don't know that, so they're probably very conscious of the fact that there could have been one graffiti or a CT just hearing them break down that boost. So they're actually going to lean over to A, given that they've given information over to B, even though nobody heard it.
Don't you hear it from Westmoreland's position at Monster?
I think he's too far, just too far away.
Okay. Well, Risk is good for one, and Kira opens up the bomb site perfectly. Zacker's the only one left alive, and he's too far away to deny the bomb plan. Looking for a late activation. Maybe can at least look to equalize things. One's a freebie. Second needs to be there as well. Ruben, however, trades, and Westmoreland now is left alone, bringing it back to a one-on-one. Knows that the last man is the Oppa, so Risk will be run down and maybe even gunned down. Risk, though, I think might have been flashed. He doesn't know Westmoreland is already creeping in from behind, and he's got the kit as well. Plenty of time with it, but unfortunately not expecting the forward-facing angle. Risk now turning around, and noise has been made, but Westmoreland still brings it all together. The full 1-on-3, even picks up the flash on his way to the ball.
This man is the best. I mean, just that's so proactive there from Westmoreland. Didn't give much space for anyone to think of anything different. You know, as soon as a player dies at truck, you want to try and be able to have this 2-on-1 gunfight, but he's just too sweet about how he moves between the angles, made every fight difficult. And that flash was just flawless. Popped, Risk couldn't see a damn thing, and Westmoreland got full confirmation on exactly where he was. 6 straight. And sure, it's a clutch, but even if they had lost that round, they would have had more than enough money in the tank. You see, they've still got floating funds in several thousands. Meanwhile, CR have had to scrape the bottom of the barrel a couple of times. And I love that as we've seen the roles develop here for Lynn with, you know, Zacher taking over rifling responsibilities, X-Pro as well, you know, stepping away from and moving into inactivity on this roster. Westmoreland's actually taken more initiative in rounds. You know, he was already a pretty proactive player, but he understands that he has to be, you know, the man of experience to realize what these mid-rounds are looking like.
Ooh. Big kill star is gone, and connector control as well, completely forfeited with it. So G feels like he's got a necessity to maintain some control over divider. The problem is that this does mean that he splits up with Zacher. Zacher, who's not been spotted out because of the off angle. Ruben trying to peek back in. Will be facing up and finishing off versus the former Opper of Lynn Vision.
You started with a man advantage last time, but you weren't able to convert on the round. Don't lose it now. G dropped, so a 5-on-2. Westmoreland already here on the site, and Ruben, or rather Risk, wasn't quite expecting him. Wenzy as well will meet the same fate, and they're running into the Westmoreland, and that's his bomb site, but Kate finally drops him. Emilia was a close correspondent, got here quick, but the Molotov and the shots fired, he doesn't connect. Kira will finally put him to rest. So after 6 straight, finally, CR answer back.
Westmoreland might have overextended there just a little bit, going for the spray down on long up for the third player as well. He just felt so much pressure thinking that there's going to be a full side collapse because G had gone down initially. We've seen now, you know, 1 or 2 misses from G. We're going to have to keep an eye out on him to sort of gauge about how that will be developing and proceeding, whether that's something that CR can try and make take an advantage of. He's still been looking very good overall, though.
Yeah, Westmoreland was definitely feeling himself, I think.
Yep.
You know, 2-on-5, you obviously have to try and make something happen, and God, he was making stuff happen. But after those 2 kills, could have maybe waited, like, you know, just played a more patient hand for Emilia to sort of link up with him, or Elimia, as it seems to be on our HUD.
I refuse to subscribe to the Elimia conspiracy. My man will always be Emilia.
It must, I mean, that's where it is everywhere else. Just, you know, the HUD just says Elimia. But had very few eliminations.
Sorry.
No, yeah, okay. Well.
Oh. I thought he missed that shot coming out of there, but Risk is very much aware of the casualty that they have faced.
Star's got a solid angle as well in towards the bathrooms built up with Zacher. just holding for that front bathroom smoke, but as they hear Kate progress, Zacher can hold for exactly that, and Kate's not even looking for it. Just expecting that G was the sole man over at long, but it was a 3-ace start from Lynn.
That's kind of nuts considering Zacher has been maintaining long very often, maybe just expecting him to be behind the flower pots instead of in front of them. Starry, good kill to find, is traded out upon, but Zacher is there to make sure that the trades end up going in their favor regardless. Man, I love seeing these trust fall setups. That's what I like to call them, where you are 100% dead if your teammate misses the shot. Just like, do you believe in me? Yes, I do, Jack.
All they have to do is delay enough for you to do the 180, really. I mean, they don't even have to hit the shot, really, but...
Trustful.
It is a bit. But God, CR have... After winning the pistol and the follow-up round, I mean, things have been looking pretty rough. And part of that has been due to the fact that they're continually fighting against man disadvantages. You know, the times we've seen them actually get an opening duel, we've seen at least one of those rounds convert. Hasn't been without its pitfalls. But this is part of that sort of experience gap with the roster and, you know, having to play through... a team that have been very successful in the ESL Challenger League will be always a difficulty. Westmelon flashed up, and Emilian gets overrun. In fact, Westmelon gets nothing for his efforts as well, and the techs have broken through the B-bomb site in tremendous fashion. Only Starry and G that can really do anything to counteract it, but Starry, one kill won't quite cut it. G's sent to the high heavens, and he's gonna have to run and save. CR have just completely overwhelmed them.
On the board for CR as they even find the op in the end. That's going to be a heavy reinvestment to come out and actually puts Lynn Vision on breaking point once again, which is surprising considering how many rounds they won with 4 players alive. But that is what the CT economy looks like. Zacher dropping out the op will be able to guarantee that out for another round at the very least. But yeah, their money is going to be over and out. CR have a real chance here to come back into the half.
Well, that's basically 3 rounds where they've had no one survive, effectively. You know, they lost one with everyone dying. They had Westmelon win a 1 versus 3. And now this round as well added to the tally. There from G and the boost. Oh, couldn't have been better placed. Kira's so concerned about clearing out the connector with his teammate that he's ultimately distracted. Just didn't anticipate that Lynn would add a gimmick in. Here we go again. Deficits.
Big ones.
And they spread so thin when they're often in these positions. I mean, it's hard not to think that you have to be, you know, some sort of an accelerant to the demise of your opponents.
Well, when they're finding a big one, and Risk is covering off from the peak of G as well. They've got time to reset and rotate backwards to fetch the bomb and go to the B bomb site. Ruben has delivered the package onto them. The question is, will someone come and steal it away from their doorsteps? Rotation from Amelia is well placed, but the problem is that he doesn't have any idea at all about Ruben's presence. So this could end up being a fast rotate back to heaven or something like it, which is just heavily punished by the time that they actually come through and commit. And Amelia's holding a very defensive angle. He's got no incendiaries to deny the bomb plant either. So although he will be able to give at least a little bit of a call out for being careful, there shouldn't be a frag to be found here.
Oh my god!
Oh no, he's looking away! Ruben heard Amelia's utility and presence, and as a result of it, Westmelon can just get onto the bomb site and complete his quad. I have no idea what's going on over there. Was Ruben maybe playing anti-flash, something like it? Oh,
look at Westmelon go, man! Just flies through heaven. Not a care in the world. Had no idea, but then you saw him, and Ruben's back offered up. You know, you would expect. You know, Ruben certainly has the drop on Amelia there for the longest time, but because of how far his teammates are away, he had to buy time, and if he lost that duel, effectively the site would be lost, right? So that's why he doesn't play proactively. But as soon as they start to understand it's a B play, I think even though Westmelon was very hyperactive and, you know, very loud about his rotation, Ruben's never expecting him to just send it out of heaven like that. Definitely caught out by the fast-footedness of the melon.
oh!
His melon dropped, and Risk as well will find G, so Op v Op will succeed. Still one more player to find on this site, and nobody clears for Amelia. Trade's not there. The smoke down monster as well, and he immediately repositions. They were supposed to take that B bomb site. They found the 2 kills they needed, but now CR are just as empty-handed.
For all the conversation about the melon and the G, you can't forget about Mr. Kak himself. Fantastic B-side anchor many times over. Zacher now comes over and replicates Amelia's success from earlier. And what was a 3-on-5 is now shifted around in advantage right back over to Lynn Vision. CR Gaming just can't catch a break. The one time that they're thinking, oh, we've got a couple of kills, let's go. And then, yep, Amelia's just sitting there chilling behind the pillar, lines him up and knocks him down.
Still potential for them to come back into this bomb site. Amelia playing deep towards Graffiti, and Zacher only holding a slim line. That smoke will make things difficult. Heaven's presence will not be as heavily felt. Kate might even be able to peek atop it, but doesn't risk it, doesn't chance it. 2-on-3 for this post plant. They've still got a Molotov, a smoke available as well here for Lynn to help section off this site.
Ruben and Kate are going to be playing split up, and with a flashbang from Amelia, this could end up being a mistake. Kate can be very easily flashed out, and with the smoke on short as well. Molotovs, grenades, everything to try and clear out water. And now the retake is very much on. Remember, only Amelia is the one with an actual kit, so as he turns around, Zacher's tapped the bomb. Ruben's got one for free. Kate's been located, but Kate's fighting back. Zacher recovering the kit, but time's running down low. He will not have the defuse, even if he gets the kill. 5 rounds now secured for CR.
That actually could have been close. I think if Ruben had been instantly one-bulleted there by Zacher, then that actually was a way in for that defuse. It might have been very, very close, but that's almost a mistake there from Ruben to have taken that swing. Doesn't matter. They converted over the line, and that was them after such a healthy start and, you know, being able to get it into this sort of 2-on-3. Even in spite of the extra man there from Lynn, they just weren't able to trade successfully. And this is the first time we see Lynn on a save in what's been, since round number 2? It's so much success earlier on based on their initial gun rounds. That's the best chance here for CR to get an easy one. Looking like a 9-6 or even an 8-7 half.
Okay, never mind. Nothing. At all. No surprise with that.
They even closed the door, so Star has to make noise coming out, but it doesn't stop Wenzi from getting dropped, and Kira's already low.
You know what else makes noise, Michael? Players dying. Especially if they die to a Zeus. Okay,
no.
missing out on opportunities, and that's why Star is there to trade and recover an AK. Thank you very much. That's a big save if you can actually take that one forward. Remember, West Melon is on $50, so he's having a rough time in the money department.
Going for damage makes a lot of sense here. Sure, there is some reserve cash available. I don't think it would affect the buy too much here for CR, but given that the last round they won was at a pretty heavy cost to their economy, could do enough to maybe get rid of the AWP of risk or have them miss out on some utility, but Star just wants to hold on to that AK for himself.
And sometimes you see some of these angles that are possible in Counter-Strike, and I'm just wondering, just imagine someone trying to do that in real life, right? Like, it's a slippery, wet, moist pipe in a situation which is clearly damp, probably has some moss on it, and you're just trying to balance on it while you're holding an AK-47. Listen, man, I feel like that. I feel like you look at the surroundings around this, that's gonna have some moss on it in real life.
Nah, man. I mean, listen, Overpass based in Germany, as far as I'm aware. And I trust the Germans to do a good job when it comes to, you know, manufacturing and, you know, especially sort of machine processes, hell, infrastructure in general, to be honest.
Listen, man, I know this isn't based in Germany because their trains actually run on time.
Yeah, in fact, annoyingly on time, every round almost.
Well, days will find absolutely nothing.
A little curious there. That's one designed for the pop flash, or the, I guess, smoke that you can reset outside of Monster instead of the actual jump peak. So a little curious. It's a deeper lineup from CR. I don't know if that's intentional or not. Very rare I see a nade stack landing in that position. But after the bombardment, you know, they show some presence outside of B. Look at the ground Lynn have taken over towards long. They have Zacher and G ready to greet them. They're going to go for it as well. A run boost.
Well, G misses out on one. Zacher, however, has a chance for a multi-frag regardless. Maybe all three. G is setting up for old man Zach to come through and look goddamn good.
You call that setting up? He just missed and Zacher sweeped up everyone. Oh dear.
Perfect wingman. Get this man in the club and you're going to be getting whatever you want. Sorry though, gets what he wants. It's a 9th round out for Lynn. We're off to a break to see whether CR can do it on CT as well.
There's fire in the atmosphere, moving in synergy, this electricity. The power of the pioneers, tearing through history, this is our destiny. We are the power, we are the change, we are the pioneers of paradise and fame, and we push it louder like hurricanes. We are the pioneers, we are the pioneers. We are the power, we are the change, we are the pioneers of paradise and fame, and we push it louder like hurricanes. We are the pioneers, we are the pioneers, we are the power, we are the change, we are the pioneers of paradise and fame. We push it louder like hurricanes. We are the pioneers. We are the
Couple of stylish rounds coming out from Lynn. Vision does not deter from the fact that CR Gaming has still collected an impressive 6 on their T side. Now as we head into CT, we're going to have to wait to see what exactly they have to offer and whether any of their players can step up and maybe send it up.
Yeah, I mean, the rounds that Lynn won on that CT side were just so convincing. So CR in for a world of hurt, Flash in for Monster, but Wensi dodged it, and the dualies will find at least one kill in a barrel. Skira finds nothing. Amelia's double is lovely, but Ruben's quick, and he gets 3 kills in rapid succession. Zacher left alone, but running out of ammo is Ruben, and on a long flank was Kate. Too separated, couldn't help his teammates out, and Bomb still dropped outside of Monster, so Kate knows Zacher has to come to him.
Ruben out here with the Brute Sleek cosplay, stinging like a bee, flowing like water. He is all over the place and getting all the shots as well. Zacker's problem is the lack of the bomb recovery. He wasn't quite able to foray back for it, and Kate now firmly planted inside the B bomb side. Zacker is unlikely to be checking this angle, and with his HP being where it is, but now might have the advantage. Kate looks back at the perfect time. Ruben, man, what a god.
Yeah, I mean, just barreling in, had no respect for the fact that they were funneling themselves outside a monster. Usually when you see players on rotates like that, when you lose ground so quickly over towards pillar and the wood wall, you know, players will play a little deeper, maybe even play for the post plant. Nah, not Ruben. He didn't care. No plant and no round for Lynn, so it's only pistols. The peak. Okay, it has to be a little bit concerned. Could have been more where that came from. It was only Westmelon, but the rest of the team link up with him rather quickly. Going along is about the worst thing they probably could do with these pistols.
Nope. Well, I mean, going into Ruben might be pretty bad as well, given what he did with USP. Risk now comes in from behind. He's got money built up and farmed up as well, so pretty successful round from CRG.
Yeah, I recover Ruben's M4.
I hate the fact that I know CR Gaming is Karan Gaming, because in my head, I just want to think about it as being crazy gaming every time.
I'm more, you know, annoyed that, you know, we have CR Gaming and then we have GR Gaming.
True.
Too many R Gamings. Just, at least just go with Charon.
Maybe
they
we
would.
can have We Are Gaming. I'm a branding specialist, baby.
Uh-huh. Well, Messbone took a lot of damage from early utility and early fights. Case, oh god, missing out on his duels, but finding decent damage onto G. At least there's a trade.
Honestly, that kill on the start looked like it was almost on accident.
Yeah, aiming for G and Starry just caught the bullets.
Get down, Mr. President. I'm already down, you fool.
Zacher clears this? Oh my goodness, he does. Someone's
Doesn't know about
spamming
the
in from the
second.
wood wall, but does he expect a secondary player? Wenzi, oh no, he missed his shot, and Zacher will miss to punish. A 4-on-2 after it was a 1-for-1 exchange in the early segment. That monster push comes back to bite them.
Few lines being forgotten right there, but maybe Ruben can come through and deliver a soliloquy. Ruben, though, cleared out, and G wants nothing about it. This is the new generation. We like to be on TikTok, not listen to soliloquies in theaters.
What on earth? I feel like we've just jumped to assumptions here. Lynn definitely a very young team, and maybe they are, but
I was talking about
too
myself.
busy gaming.
But
You say about yourself.
yeah, I'm a young guy. I'm only 34.
Okay, you've overshot, but how you doing, fellow kids?
Tick and tuck. Well, bomb's going to be ticking out, and Risk should be able to keep his M4 alive as well. Leaning forward, CR will have some monetary concerns, despite the couple of kills that the MP9 and the like were able to pick up for themselves.
Ooh, we've had a player drop as well, so technical timeout. As you'd expect, you don't want to play 4-on-5, but that's how CR have had to play most of this game, losing a lot of opening duels, and that last round could have gone much worse had Kate not been able to at least, you know, somehow find Story on at least one of his frags. But that was really unfortunate, you know, if not for the fact that Zacher was just hyper conscious of getting flanked from the short pipe. And then Wenzi also missing his fight. Like, you know, there were certain things about that round that could have gone in the favor of Sharan. But this is the problem, you know. You play against a team like Rare Adam, like Lynn Vision, like the Mongols. You know, these are our three favorites coming into every ESL Challenger League that they are participant to. You cannot afford to miss chances like that. You know, the easier you've caught them out in by good positioning frags. They should be a gimme. So how else are you going to find advantages? Mechanically, experience-wise, they will have the edge over you.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen that with Westmoreland's 1v3s and clutch attempts for sure.
Yeah, even if he's thrown into a dire spot, he understands what has to be done. Like, it's a dirty job, but someone's got to do it. And that's, you know, something that Westmoreland has had to adopt fairly heavily for this team. You know, taking over in-game leading responsibilities from X-Pro, who has since sort of taken a break or stepped away from Counter-Strike. I don't know if he's going to come back. I hope he does. He'd certainly help foster in a new breed or a new generation of players, kind of similar in the vein as Advent, you know, bring up a lot of young, new guys with very limited experience.
X-Pro to Talu, baby, let's go.
Or just, you know, could come back. But, I mean, Lynn are looking pretty solid with G and Westmoreland at the helm, so... Maybe coaching, considering Vadim has seen a departure.
He's a young guy. I want to see him on the server.
Yeah, he's a young in-game leader, but you know, it's a nice way for him to not have to go through the stress of playing, but also still involved with the team that he's spent so much time with.
Flashes are going to be running into the M4, which is boosted up pretty soon. Risk is going to be not risk averse at all. He is just going forward, getting aggressive and finding a quick kill as well. Kate, 5-7 around the corner to peek forward. Westmoreland will suffer the pistol death, and G's been cornered once again and Long trying to fight back. Bullets running out, and Risk, well, doesn't have too much life to work with, but does have a teammate who's just dead. Zacker's been kind of nuts on the T side.
Yeah, he's been crisp.
Oh,
I
Risk
mean,
missing the timing.
That clear was perfect, and yeah, Risk has missed out on the timing. He would have known that the bomb was dropped. You know, that was information that was at least found out earlier on. Actually, I'm not so sure. You know, you have to be able to see the upper side of the torso, and because of the fact that that bathroom sign was in the way when Risk was taking the initial fights, it might be a little bit too much to ask, but he has made his way back over towards A, but only 6 HP. He cannot afford to miss.
Yeah, and he does, unfortunately.
Yeah, had to be the cleanest 2-tap on both those players. No AK, so a near impossible round to win, unless they just didn't expect him to be in that position. Kind of a crazy, scrappy round there from Sharon. Definitely focused on that long control, and Lynn were as well. But Risk got, I think, a little lucky. You know, he jumped up and I think hit a decent amount of his shots while he was still in midair. Like you said, he wasn't scared. He was not risk adverse.
Unfortunately, Mira's got the weakest weapon, and he's got the opening kill as well, and an upgrade right there with it. Not what you want to see.
Yeah, every player without head armor, so that SMG close range was going to be devastating. That's actually a very solid purchase. A solid weapon for Amelia to have had coming into this round. Maybe weren't expecting them to fully commit to the buy, considering they're so light on util. They have just no head armor, no defuse kits whatsoever. This kill could just seal the round. Starry just full clears for him. Just so methodical about how he's clearing those angles. And they wanted to try and get aggressive. They were hoping that Kate could find a timing, but now 5-on-3.
They're fading away. They're looking to try and go back to the save, maybe, unless Risk can come through with a couple of big frags. It will not be easy, though. Invasion have got plenty of time to try and wait for their resources to accumulate again as well. CR maybe would like to see Risk backing off, because now he's got a Molotov behind him as well, trying to fight his way out of it, but the missed shot means that Amelia can shut him down, and it will be the 12th round guaranteed. CR Gaming more likely than not would probably prioritize saving here. Again, I do kind of just wish they'd save the AWP as well, if that's what you're going for.
Tried to be a hero. It doesn't always work out. Again, these rounds from Lynn are looking pretty solid. I think on CT, they were very hyper-conscious about how they should approach early map control, they frequently found players trying to cheat past Monster, trying to get out long. Certainly punishing the extremities players. And now as well, here on this T side, I mean, just slow working. Albeit, Amelia's opening kill was quite fast through the connector, but aside from that, the rest of Lynn were going for pretty much standard map control, and sure there's some onus put on a couple of your riflers to succeed in their sort of individual fights, but that's actually where one of the discrepancies would lie, is that Lynn have been able to scout talent and have been able to retain that talent and foster it over quite a few seasons, quite a few years, in fact. You know, the newest additions in Amelia and G were, I think, well selected. You know, we've certainly seen Amelia come into his own on this roster, even though his first, I say, 2 to 3 weeks definitely looked uncomfortable.
Yes, Molotov out on short. Attacker is going to realize that the aggression is coming through regardless, and 5 players in this B bomb site, that would be a very costly mistake to try and breach it. Kind of surprised that they're going to boost without having a to pop open the connector doors. That is generally the go-to.
Yeah, well, they just didn't come in with much utility at all, so it is a peculiar call.
Going to be slow peeking forward. Wenzy's got a great flashbang to help him out, though. Kira and Wenzy both come out with a kill apiece, and suddenly things are turning around. The M4 recovered as well. Although the man advantage will be going right back over to Lynn Vision as they try to get aggressive over to short. Ruben, however, finds it right back at the bomb with it. Amelia trying to cover off Ruben's angle, and as he peeks forward, he does not have armor, so he needed the instant headshot. Almost gets it, but Amelia stays alive for a while longer. Lynn Vision do escape the jaws of an eco death.
Yeah, that looks a little bit scary there from Ruben's POV, but he understands that there's only one player that he has to beat, and that bomb dropped. If he sort of waited things out, they would have almost certainly tried to link up with the 2 remaining players to guarantee a trade. So he tried his best to go for that isolated fight. That bomb certainly could have changed how that round panned out. If Amelia wasn't able to find an instant counter kill, then CR could have maybe even stole that round away, but back in with another full buy, risk back on the AWP, and good timing here for Lynn to actually dodge out some of the early utility from CR. This time the nade is there for the connector, and Westmelon's caught out by a nice quick assembly boost, but they break it down just as fast. They were just anticipating them doing it in a future round, but from a different spot.
Gotta test it out just to make sure, right? Risk though. Testing the water right back over towards Toilet. G does not want to contend with him. The ops not aware at all of Amelia's positions. Coming in from behind, gets one for free. Will not be expecting a second player to be there. Kate comes back out, refrags in, but he's still out in the open, and actually retreating might be a bit difficult. That's where the flashbang of Ruben helps out massively. Zacher does trade, but the advantage maintained means that Lynn Vision are going to be in a rough situation. Rotations coming out as well. Molotov doesn't quite fork Ruben off. I think it might have actually just popped in the air, so fireworks for celebration, but nothing to celebrate for Lynn Vision.
They reset over towards long, and they do have a Molotov in Starry's hands. Kira, if he goes out and clears long, he would be very exposed. Ruben has the first contact out from this position, but cleared by Starry, not going to convert on the shot. And let's see if that trade can come in quickly here from Kira, waiting for that plant, waiting for that tap, but as he jumps up, Zacher finds him, and on the flank, Wenzy's going to have the angle just in the nick of time. I think if there wasn't any presence in from steps or bank, he would have very quickly even gone for a bank-sided plant, so Wenzy cutting him off before he could even consider it.
I have to say, Zacher has been looking stunningly good on the C side. It feels like Westmelon has quieted down a lot more now that the CT side has gone and over. He's been forced to adopt slightly different roles. Zacher is obviously playing the old Westmelon spots very frequently now on the T side, but he has been playing them to perfection. They don't quite win the round. Some great flash from some CR make sure that the advantage can consistently be maintained and exploited, but on an individual level, Zacher looking good.
Yeah, I think Westmelon's taken over quite a few of X-Pro's old positions. You know, kind of playing center of the pack or even trying to be kind of an entry guy sometimes. Haven't seen it so much this game, but yeah, Zacher lurking. And I remember the first time we saw him actually on this map, we were kind of caught out by how cognizant he was of like all the timings he was exposed to. Maybe that's why they made this role swap. It just felt like an easy enough fit.
Up on the other side is going to make this tricky. At the very least, you should have the run boost to be coming forward. Risk will get the tag regardless. G's legs have been chopped down, and Risk and Kate can combine forces to keep Long unbreachable.
Really nice shot there from Risk to even have set up Kate for an easier frag. That's exactly what you want that two-man setup on Long to have accomplish. Going 1 for 1 ain't too bad, and they will be able to get their hands back on this bomb, but only 35 seconds to really build this round. And given that Zacher's been so slow outside of Monster, they were, I think, really hoping they could have gone towards B, but now it feels like their options are cut thin 20 seconds by the time they end up at the front side of bathrooms, and they're going to have to commit A if there is any chance of them coming back into this round.
If there is any chance, seems to be something that they are decidedly low on the possibility of. Trying to lean back and save in. Lynn Vision will not have the best device in the next round, but can actually invest into potentially a Tech 9s and utility around this. CR's had some very solid setups over towards this A bomb site consistently.
I couldn't remember if G had an AWP or not, but you know, them only having those 2 AK saved over, if there was an AWP over at Long, you know, I'm kind of surprised that there was no movement to really go and recover that, but ultimately could have left them more vulnerable, could have had them die after time as well, so maybe didn't want to take that risk. The G's down to a Deeg. If these rifles can find much of anything. So CR almost win a round on their CT side off of 2 recovered weapons. Easier to do, I think, on CT side than T, but we've seen players before just buy 1 AK and the rest of the team save and win rounds just because of that, so I guess it does go both ways, actually.
The winning rounds occurrences become increasingly uncommon, though.
Yeah.
Teams just become so much better at trading out and making sure that the remaining weapons can't actually be picked up and used before the kills come through. Risk, another good tag. Westmoreland, I think that was through the wall, so he will be able to live life a little while longer, maybe even give up the AK. Emilia starts off strong. Risk and his AWP are both gone, and they've got no way of getting back onto the bomb site because of the Molotov and the smoke, and Emilia actually has space behind the Molotov to reposition. As they start to think about going through, there is no utility for the CT side either. There's no flashes, nothing to set up for a few easy kills. Kate's going for the boost as well, but no one to actually be found. And as the smoke is dissipating, G proceeds forward. Kate's got a second as well. Emilia needs to activate for more. Starry covering off Bank in the meanwhile, and Westman watching out for a flank that's never going to be coming in. It's all down to Emilia and Starry and what they can actually find. It's nothing, absolutely nothing. Another 1v3, but Westmoreland's got so much less to actually work with in the round. Wendy's got a flash as well. Kate trying to cover off, and this will not be a round that they've got any chance in. Westmoreland forced to forfeit.
Oh, that round just must be heartbreaking to lose like that. A boost CT like that with an A1S, you know, you think it's actually a very good spot for it. The silencer not giving away where you're positioned or where you're even shooting from. You know, I think G dying partially through a smoke, so adding even more sort of anonymity as to where they were positioned. But if that smoke over towards stairs hadn't been so far out of place, you know, it was quite shallow and ended up obscuring the vision there of Emilia. It's actually a terrible spot when there's a player close to the stairs like that. Emilia would have almost certainly seen the barrel if that smoke had been a bit more on point. Save the round. Some aggressive move in from Risk. This AWP will peer in and will find the back of Starry. Back G as well, not far behind him, but they're still pretty aggressive in towards bathrooms, and Kate's drop. That's another weapon that can be recovered, and this makes this buy a little bit more threatening.
Risk has missed out on a big shot, though. And a chance to mitigate that threat becomes a little bit more mitigated. B bomb side finish is something we haven't actually seen Lynn explore too often. It's been countered out once or twice by some good flashes, and ever since then they decided against it. So now trying to lean back over and see whether the half-back can actually give them some success here. Two players close to Monster. Wenzi's the one who's supposed to be taking care of that. No one's here to set up for flashes, and as the smoke is likely going to be dissipating soon, Westmelon is the one who's looking for the frag. Wenzi doesn't quite find very much. Westmelon moves too good for the one, but he's lost his teammates in the meanwhile. Kira delivering death onto them, and then sends Westmelon home as well.
A little bit of an awkward looking quick switch there from Westmelon, but thought he had a little bit more time maybe between fights. But yeah, after he lost all his teammates, there was only going to be attention pulled onto him. They are pulling it very close. One more round to tie things up after Lynn had a pretty solid half on CT. CR putting up comparable defenses. I wouldn't say these rounds are, you know, as convincing looking, but we've seen a couple where they've just stopped all the plans for Lynn. This time Zacher is flashed through Monster and Wenzi's caught out. No one playing from pillar or even close wood to actually counteract it, and a miss smoke for short. That's actually a bridge smoke that could work for the T's favor, but Kate's taking initiative, taking ground, and it will go 1-for-1, maybe overstaying his welcome. He's been able to double down and escape, then that would have been ideal for CR, but it only leads them deeper in the hole now. Playing with 3 men on the defense, you have to spread so thin. Want to try and take something, and Risk will be the man to take up that onus.
Molotov Risk will be forced off of the angle before he can even take it, so Westmelon's got a fair bit of space to try and work around with, but Risk is actually asked for reinforcements to come through in the form of an M4. Ruben peeking forward right into Westmelon, he goes, that's another casualty. And right when CR Gaming looked like they were going to be in position to actually equalize and be in an advantage economically, all of those prospects have been stolen away from them. Can Kira do anything about it though? 3 kills in the previous round while he tried to hold on to the B-bomb site, but his teammate is gone now. Kira all alone, good for the 1, can't make it 2. Zacher's low, but the headshot through the wall will give him nothing. Kira misses out of the time to catch off and capitalize on G as well, and Westmelon is here to end at the round. 14 for Lynn, and CR's money is going bust.
That actually looked like Kira was about to make that round very threatening. You know, high pressure would look snappy between each of those duels, but they just bombard him with utility, and they make it an unfair fight. You know, don't let him express those mechanics. Again, probably the least proven player on this team, but has had some pretty solid performances already in the ESL Challenger League. I think against Rare Atom, from my recollection, actually had a very well-performing game. This time, aggressive move here from CR, and 2 players caught out Connector. Lynn started off with a heavy deficit, and they pushed. They got aggressive because they know they've got their hands on the package.
What could have been just the seal to the game is now instead looking like CR are very much in contention before the overtime can be invoked or even considered. A little bit surprised to see that sort of aggression to come through over there, right when we've seen CR largely focus out on long as their initial primary point of contact more than anything else. Envision likely taking back. Oops.
Smoke's not quite deep enough to actually cover that bomb in its entirety. That's a very scary prospect, but losing Kira, that's big. These Connector players are now crunched.
Zacher's got himself the small ledge to actually work off of as well, but it's his own smoke that's worked out against him. Flashbang down under, and Kate is waiting, but Kate's expecting the elevated angle. Zacher now all alone just to try and do some damage would be good, but he finds absolutely nothing, and Risk and replace the scout as well. AK recovered, and 13 for CR in style.
Yeah, another one of these rounds where they've just, you know, got a couple of rifles and just able to do so much work with it. God damn. Getting the most out of a little. CR, especially, you know, put up against a pretty threatening position where Lynn could have guaranteed an overtime or even potentially set themselves up to win this map. Now sit Still 2 away. CR, Kate, out in the open, and the flash caught him, but it doesn't matter. His spray's adjusted in time. Surviving on 13 HP. He ducks, he dives, and Zacher will dive through smokes as well over at Monster to try and get a counter kill.
Wenzy, right through the smoke, will end up going down. Westmoreland's just expecting a player to be behind, and now what he also ends up covering is Zacher's ascent forward. If Amelia can find the frag onto Kate, this becomes an incredibly risky situation. Kate is going to be able to get the timing, you'd think, but his HP just not conducive in the slightest to making that sort of a play. Remember, Zacher is still completely unknown. They have no idea there's a player this far forward. They have to clear it out and check, and Ruben will get the frag. As the lurk is sussed out, Westmelon, again, not in a position to be spotted. Amelia, however, will go down, and Westmelon had a chance, but can't actually finish out the frag versus Kira.
Yeah, dinked him, but couldn't get that second bullet to connect. They definitely were hyper-conscious of Zacher's position. They lost Wenzy too quick, and nobody had sight lines. So, nice methodology there from CR to at least re-clear towards Monster. Make sure that Lynn just couldn't set up and sort of hold on to that territory for free. Had to keep their guard up. But now this game is thrown into a little bit of an imbalance. You know, it looked like Lynn were by far the better team, but CR have really pulled together some solid rounds, and they've done so off of some nice bouts of aggression, similar to what Lynn were doing on their CT side. We saw Westmelon going through monster smokes. We saw aggro pushes from G on the AWP, but they're really making this hard for Lynn to just set up in a default. And that last round wasn't against a premium buy. You know, they came in with pistols. They half bought in anticipation of this round. But the confidence is really looking high for the CR Gaming squad. This is their pick in the series, and it feels like a must-win if there is going to be any chance of them finding another upset within this group.
Good setup once again, over from Connector. No one's actually looking to contest this time over. Amelia might be caught out, but Ruben drops down. They do hear it, but no call given up in time for Zacher, or rather from Zacher, to save his teammates. It's just the flubbed spray that actually ends up helping them out.
Takes a bullet on his retreat through short as well. So a couple of players that have sustained a little bit of damage at the very least. That smoke was supposed to go frontside bathrooms, but it is a total miss there from Zacher. Don't know who's smoking at the birthday party, but that should not be allowed.
Maybe it's an adult birthday party.
Still, it's like a respect thing, I think.
I like balloons.
Yeah, the strongest helium. Those balloons on Overpass have sustained many a bullet, but they keep coming back, and they never dip.
I don't know if Lynn Vision can sustain those bullets as they head back over towards the A-bomb site, though. Westmelon and company are going to be giving up toilets for free at the very least, but with 20 seconds and only a single flashbang, this better be good, and Kate's taking the first peek. Starry is gone. Flashbang right at their feet as well, so they're completely blind. Kate is shaded, but before that is really coming into play. Risk is already activated. His position gives him 3, and Lynn Vision simply did not have utility or positions to try and trade it out.
And that round means a lot, because that was the best looking buy that Lynn were going to have for the rest of this game, the rest of regulation. And so now they have to try and counteract what could be CR squeaking it away in all 30 rounds with minimal utility, with several Galils, no AWP for G, who, just like, you know, we were talking about Westbound maybe slowing his roll, G has had much the same on T-side. T-side opening definitely difficult. Kira, this time with his secondary AWP, tries to take into Con, but is pretty haphazard about the way he's peeking these angles. Didn't commit to either fight. After that nade blew open short pipe, or blew open the door for the connector, rather. He had to be so concerned about short as well, but hung around a little too long. So that's a deficit to start things off. Now they've got ground and a man advantage to try and leverage, but they're still split 2 and 2 a pop here on CR. They have not moved in for long control, aggressive bathroom setups. They've not taken over short over at B. They're letting Lynn have pretty much full control of the map, bar Risk and his AWP.
Big miss shot as well from Risk. Long has been completely forfeited as a result of that, and Lynn Vision realised that, so they're fading back towards the B bomb site. After relying on the fact that Risk and company have largely been playing passively inside the A bomb site whenever they've been forced to defend with that long presence, so there should be a big amount of room to actually try and crack this B side open.
And Risk has been hard to find when he's been on the A play.
Well, some flashes are well placed. They want to try and get aggressive. Wednesday's got some good damage on a story. Westmelon's low, but they've got the trade regardless. Blacker just pushes right through the smoke, and Kate as well. Nothing to offer. The bomb is down. Lynn Vision seem to have done it. And I've almost guaranteed overtime if Risk is able to get this round, though I will probably have to mark that down as probably the best clutch I've ever seen in ESL Challenger League, but the drop down required, his position forfeited as well. Risk with a flashbang in his hand, and Starry sends it to overtime, and we send it to a quick break before we can come back and continue.
There's fire in the atmosphere, moving in synergy. This electricity, the power of the pioneers, tearing through history. This is our destiny. We are the power. We are the change. We are the pioneers of paradise of fame. We push you louder like hurricanes. We are the pioneers. We are the pioneers. We are the power. We are the change. We are the pioneers of paradise of fame. We push you louder like hurricanes. We are the pioneers. We are the pioneers. We are the power. We are the change. We are the pioneers of paradise of fame. We push you louder like hurricanes. We are the pioneers. We are the pioneers.
Halfway is what gave the Invasion their last T-side round to guarantee overtime. But I've got to say, CR are looking pretty damn good right now, contending and staying neck to neck with the best.
Gotta keep it up. This is where we saw the fumblings of GR versus Rare Atom yesterday. You know, you get to an overtime and then suddenly the roof comes caving in. All to get experience gapped. And this is maybe we see Westmelon start to show and flex his muscles. Through Molotovs, Zacher tried to make use of an early flash through Monster, but takes some damage and finds nothing for his troubles. And Wenzi will even finish off the job. Deep smoke, one that was supposed to allow Zacher to lurk out, but Wenzi was ahead of it.
Yeah, Zaka getting a little bit gung-ho in that regards over there. He's had a few chances that he has actually taken advantage of. And Starry, Molly is well placed. It forces them away. A lot of damage out to his body as well. Down to just a 39. Starry's not had the best of games so far. He's been right, but not quite the shining superstar that we know he can be.
Well, jump peek from Ruben, I think, might have confirmed at least a little bit of presence over towards short. He starts to lean over. Maybe anticipating that Lynn, because that information had been given, but they reset towards A instead. They have no one holding for a topside connector, so that is certainly an option. Kate spotted over towards long. Westmoreland trying to run interference. The rest of the squad still grouped up B, and with 25 seconds left, they're going to have to move soon.
Westmoreland does guarantee that there's at least 3 players on this A-bomb site, though, and Kira, great trade, but will be trying to fade away and work back in from water. Spotted out, forced off of his position and angle, and he's waiting for teammates to start coming through, but by the time they're here, he's already lost his life, and the bomb is planted, guaranteed. G's got a great trade as well. It gives them the advantage, and they know Risk's position. Emilia's got no reason to peek back out over, and Risk making this much noise makes it all the easier to actually navigate around him. Kate, late activation, but position revealed and kill not found. Emilia's got no HP, and G's got the kill before he can even be challenged. Westmoreland to finish off, and again, a really nicely called round from Westmoreland towards the end of things. It looked like CR was under firm control and would have had good rotation times if not for that long presence shown off.
Yeah, I mean, Westmoreland, I don't think he knew. He couldn't have seen that there were 3 players there, but he at least understood that after some long pressure, especially so late in the round, that there was going to be at least one more player over on that side of the map, and especially after they find the player that was sort of dedicated towards Monster and I guess more committed to the site. CR were kind of caught out. They weren't in great positions to actually deal with the late stage push, so it was great space taking, great entry in what was looking like a pretty weird looking game state for them. Zacher this time fast through short. Actually, the fact that that door is blown open comes back to hurt CR. They weren't ready for those fights, but Zacher just barely alive. Nate almost finishing off the job. But Emilia hears the fallback from Con.
Missed smoke for Monster as well. That might be big because Sierra's got no idea that it has been missed, nor do they have any way of knowing until Wenzi goes back and actually checks that one. Risk is holding on for G for seemingly forever, and it pays off.
It's actually, as a B anchor, when my A players miss my Monster smoke, you can hear it. That's not bloomed where it's supposed to.
I think
good that CR didn't
run by
overtake
the
the risk. What's up?
By the B players.
Oh, well then, you must have surely heard that it didn't bounce where it's supposed to. I don't know.
Oh. It's shot from Risk. There's been very few of those. He's been a stable hand so far.
Star just shoots the floor. I'm not sure why. Trying to bait out that there was a flash thrown. I'm a little unsure, but a smoke over towards the B bomb site pulls an extra player in. Kate tried to jump ahead of it, so there's only 2 players that can actually hold this A site, and there's no quick reinforcements.
Risk needs to find the frag. He's going to be all alone on the bomb site for now. There is going to be the first. Ruben trades it out as well right next to him, so might have lied about all alone on the bomb site. But I didn't lie about Risk never missing. He's got 4 kills in the round, 16 for CR.
Really solid stuff. I mean, every time we've seen Risk on these A defenses, he's just bouncing off his one site player so well. And whether or not he's the one that's getting all the kills, you know, he's definitely had his lion's share of the frags when it's come to these A plays. You know, just bounding between the angles, and it's almost every time the closest threat that he has to deal with that he's targeting. He's not missed the rhythm of the execute, so to speak.
Oh, there goes Saka. Out and over. Ruben is... Okay. This is huge. So Ruben's able to come through with even another frag. They tried to go back and re-peek into Kate, but despite doing a fair bit of damage early on, they find absolutely nothing. CR have almost guaranteed themselves the 17th if they can just hold on to their horses here.
Love this call from CR as well. One of the saving graces for Lynn so far on this T side has actually been, getting entries over towards B, and Zacher just constantly being a nuisance in its short and even sussing out monster pushes and the like. With how reliable Risk has been on the A side, this actually had to be the silver lining for Lynn, but it ends up being an aggressive call from CR to counteract it. They do reset, they do clear con, and they do attain short water, but so we've seen Lynn fight out of deficits like this, but Ruben jump spot, there's at least one player's information given over. Double monster though, and Westmelon has the bomb, so if it's dropped, it'll be a recovery mission for the short presence. Westmelon even dropped before he gets a chance at any of these duels. Starry trying desperately to hunt it down, but Wenzi there with the trade. G right back with an answer, and 20 seconds, that bomb can be recovered, but 3 more players to find.
Getting upon it should be absolutely impossible. There's no utility, which is the only real saving grace to come through, and as he does peek back over, it looked like G had to jump on Risk, but Risk is just been looking like the better opper, to be honest. And that's strange for me to say when I've been praising G so much going into the game, but Risk has absolutely looked like he's just simply a better version of what G's been providing so far. And I am just seeing Starry's needed on this Lynn Vision team for sure. He's just such a big star player to come through, and he's doing alright, but just not the explosive monster that we know he can be.
Yeah, I think with the sort of influence that we've seen from Zacher and I guess Amelia on these like round recoveries, Starry's kind of been outshone in terms of his sort of influence on this game, but he's definitely one of the players that we look to, like you said, to have that kind of influence, but it's been hard. I think CR did a very good job on that CT side, and a lot of that was part and parcel with some of these calls they made to get aggressive, or the positions and the opening of Risk. I will say they definitely feel like they're pretty evenly matched. Like the CT side opening from G was impeccable as well, but Risk has been in worse positions and succeeded more. He understands the limitations. He's even maybe even been doing some limit testing himself, but when you don't get punished, when they don't find the counter kill, then yeah, you're certainly going to feel confident. I think G was in that first half, but that confidence may be a little bit rattled. Lynn might have been able to put this one to rest, but CR are here to play. It'll be crazy because the previous rosters, Lord Rabbit were a roster that made it to playoffs previously, but we're never really contenders. They have a good group stage here. That could be a way to change the conversation. As opener here for G, though, just finding Kate on the extremities, trying to hunt for any ground, but let's not forget that this T side from CR did sometimes look a little lost in late rounds.
They've kept 2 people in toilets for the late rotation as well, and G's found another in the meanwhile. Ruben just trying to creep through short, looking for a dry peek, but like only Zacher is the one who can get away with shots like those. And speaking of Zacher, the man himself rotating back out over towards the B bomb site will make this into a 5-on-2, and with 10 seconds left, CR's best shot here is just to try and lean back in for the save. Lynn Vision definitely have what it takes to try and get 3 in a row to close things out here and now, but it does feel like that might be one of their few win conditions to make this work.
I mean, even in the 3-on-5, they had already called it quits. They called it at 30 seconds. They were already down too many men. G had found an extra kill. They had tapped out. I mean, these T sides, like, let's not forget that we saw some really nice work from, on these late entry attempts. Often they were fighting in deficits on CR's T side, where it felt like, at least for Lynn, they would be equal numbers, but then, pushing past monster smokes, and they wouldn't be able to break into the bomb sites. Both these teams had issues on their T sides, but they were very different. It felt like Lynn at least had the foundations of, a structured round. CR have had to sort of brawl their way through into team round successes. This time, though, they will catch Starry just running out from long, tried to find an exit path, but that was not the one.
They can go rolling their way, Starry. Gosh.
Yeah, not the safer exit, but
Yeah.
maybe I guess wanted the extra info.
G misses out on his window. He's out on an opportunity to try and stop the rotate back to B, but at the very least he will get information about it. There's nowhere to set up a boost or something like it. Lynn are playing a significantly more defensive game than that. And we saw from CR, Wenzi might have had a window where Emilia could have been spotted out, but again, some noise is made. Zakar is aware about their positioning as well as a result of that. Through, Kira's in, but he can't find the frag, and Westmoreland uses this as a perfect equalizer. They still have players over towards this A site. It's G to try and hold down the line, but with two players coming in from long, rather from short and one from long, Kate should be able to get this one for free, and indeed G is gone. Rotation back to Garbage comes through. Kate with a Molotov out in his hand, smoke as well. Wenzi was covering it off, so at least he's good for the trade. Zacher only connects on the one, and as a strafe out comes in, Wenzi's just here to cover it all. Emilia can't collect the spray together, and Risk is there to seal the deal, give them map point.
Oh, such a risky position for G to have been playing, and just so well cleared there from CR. As soon as that divider smoke was down, you know, that presence in from short as well. The fact that they were making noise only made it easier for this player in K to actually escape through long. And yeah, I mean, G just had no help, nothing anywhere nearby. You saw the desperate attempt there to barrel through CT. And we know Westmoreland can, you know, create space like that, but didn't find the same level of success as he did in regulation. Could be our closer. Boost up from Westmoreland, door blown open, but Kira not peeking much further past that smoke. Should be kind of ready for a boost, and actually did spot them, but will not be able to punish. Wenzi just barreling out through monsters. They want to go quick.
Just dodged out. I mean, that's good for the one, but there is the immediate trade. Westmoreland wasn't anywhere nearby to be able to provide support, and right now can't provide the firepower. Zacher trying to close in, and Starry who closes the distance. Zacher still alive with the bomb side, and a flash keeps Ruben very much in flux, not sure about where to go and what to do. This looks like Lynn Vision have almost guaranteed that second overtime to be played out. Ruben, though, locked out of the site. There's nothing he can actually offer in, but at the very least he's got time to work with. So if Lynn Vision make a mistake, there's a window for him to try and pull off this 1v2. G's making a lot of noise trying to let Zacher lead in, and 18 is secured. Lynn Vision keep themselves alive in their enemy's map pick.
Yeah, what is going on? I mean, we have another game where it's just going back and forth overtimes, and you know, I have to respect the change of pace there from CR. So many of their T-side rounds have been slow building. Sometimes a little, I said lost earlier, but, you know, just so spread, hoping for a lurking player to get a kill or get some kind of crazy advanced position, and it just hasn't been working out. This time they just try and strip themselves down of that complexity and go with something a little bit more sporadic, a little bit more simple, and go with a faster pace, which could have caught Lynn out, but even with them somewhat unaware of some of these positions, you know, I think we saw Starry barrel out from Con and didn't expect someone short, you know, just out-dueled a couple of these CR guys before they could establish a foothold on that bomb site. And it just feels like we're encountering different problems for both these teams on these T sides. And we know this to be a map that is still, I think, probably the most CT-sided of those in the pool. I think, you know, it's probably tied with Nuke in terms of efficiency of rounds, and I know we've talked about like side selection and who picks what map, and you know, the team that picks a Nuke or an Overpass will frequently start T side. I get it, but there's still balance to be had. You know, the teams still scrim it, and right now there's neither of them can sort of fix these mistakes as we dive deeper and deeper into the overtime. The first one that is able to crack that code, we'll see Overpass over the line.
Tagged up early on. G misses out on a window off of a great flashbang. It doesn't do too much to him. G can actually fade away pretty safely in this situation. Now, what's not safe, though, is Starry and Zacher and the similar trustful setup that they've gone for this time over. Zacher is going to be holding down the line as maybe there's still a window for Wenzi to come in from Divider instead. As they start to experiment out with the angle, Zaka should be able to get the first one for free, and yep, indeed, Kate is gone.
I think Kate spotted both, though. You know, he swung quite wide for that duel, so at least got confirmation on where a couple of these Lynn Vision players are, but it doesn't help them in the fact that they haven't been able to take too much ground as a result of that, and they still have to try and navigate this one a man down. They've reset, though. They've actually brought extra presence over towards B, and that leaves Starry somewhat vulnerable. Zacker's trying to at least go quickly to help his teammate out.
Timing on this utility is fantastic. Zacker's going to be completely isolating Wenzi, but Wenzi still gets a frag before he goes down. It will not matter. Zacker, Molotov is the only thing that's actually weakening his HP. He's even gone for the full wide swing, and Risk is out. Kira's position does make things a bit more interesting, but there's still a lot of heaven presence that can make it oh so difficult to actually contain. Westmelon can't find Kira. Kira's position will be traded out on, and Zacher and G are able to make sure that Ruben cannot back off to safety, otherwise that 1v2 could have gotten very interesting.
It's actually looked like a really solid call here from CR. I mean, just the fact that they had presence over towards A, there was at least a couple of players spotted there. The AWP of Risk is kind of left on a lurk after they rebound back through connector towards that B bomb site because they had an advanced position on B. Lynn didn't have a read. You know, they started slinging between the A and the B bomb site, and that's what sort of opened up this opportunity for CR to close the round. But even with all those low health players, just couldn't finish off the job. That's not the prettiest CT round we've seen from Lynn thus far this game, but in overtime, it doesn't matter whether it's clean or not. What matters is round wins, and CR have let one evade them in the second overtime.
Trying to double up on long. There's been a lot of long prioritization so far from either team, actually. Maybe more so from CR, but even then.
I do like that they've made a kind of a proactive change as well. G was long pretty much every round on CT sides and would sort of go into short afterwards, but now they're trying to section him to a different side of the map, maybe to avoid some of the oncoming flashes.
Wenzi trying to fight out the smoke is going to be met by Starry pretty soon, but Starry's now got footsteps out on long. Flash is great, but he's not got any of the frags. Now finally picks up on one, but it looked like it was set up for success. Fortunately, Zacher is there to pick up the pieces and pick up the frags, as he will collect on two. Now up to 35 on the rifle. His, you know, quote-unquote new role. He is looking stunning for Lynn.
Star Oper to Star Rifler. Man, Zacher can do it all. Oh, he didn't go for the jump spot. Would have actually get confirmation that CR are creeping up through long, but G's already holding for it. And so Wenzi down, Zacher will swing, and there's no hope for Kira. 20 rounds here for Lynn, and the target is 22, but hell, man, what a game Zacher is certainly having. His influence on T side certainly felt. And that I mean, in regulation CT side, he wasn't like having a crazy game, but it feels like switching and getting into the overtime has really awoken the Zacher potential. That flash couldn't have been more perfect. It really just couldn't have. All three players along those lines. That triple nade's in a bit more of a conventional spot, but I think one of them was partially missed. Doesn't matter because nobody was there anyway.
You could say all of them were missed.
Yeah, that is true. As was this monster smoke. A little too deep, but Amelia still had it covered. Flash is good. Amelia blinded, but no one takes the space.
Risk is just using it to take the angle himself with the AWP. Westmelon trying to force them off and just find some information with the flashbang, and indeed he knows that there's at least two, if not three. Kira Looked like it was a lost bullet as well from his magazine as he was spamming away, and now a 5-on-3 CR are about to turn this into a 5-on-2. Starry's demise is just guaranteed. If Zacher can't find a massive round and a massive flank, this round is going to be over, and with his decision to go back to connector, it feels like it might as well be G. A defense that seems impossible will need to come up with at least 2, maybe even 3, and now Zacher all alone, a 1-on-4. Can't play fast enough to pick up on the second. Zacher might as well actually ends up missing, and the spam right back is what ends up sealing the deal. Kira's first kill to Westmoreland is massive.
Yeah, I mean, that obviously wasn't how that was supposed to play out. I mean, first finding the player right side monster with the AWP, and then all of a sudden, you know, Westmoreland through the smoke is about as poor as it could have gone for a monster hold. You never want to die through smoke like that. And you saw that they were trying so hard to get some sort of a flank right back as soon as, I think, what was it, Starry died inside of Con. That's when Zacher had to sort of redivert from, instead of flanking Monster, just getting that trade at the very least. A rather fortunate round, I would paint it as such. You know, the first kill via Risk was obviously planned out, but you never anticipate kills through smoke. Still a problematic position. It's not like CR weren't solid on their CT side, but Lynn are still closer to the finish than they. So, you know, I think I talked about this previously, but Lynn at least looked like they had the sort of groundwork laid out to win some of these T-side rounds, but just couldn't deal with Risk. I actually expect that we're going to see sort of more B-sided finishes from Lynn to try and avoid that AWP as best as possible, given that Risk hasn't been sort of hyperactive in peeking in towards short or monster or changing his angles too much. He's been A dominant.
Yeah. I think hyperactive AWPing, unfortunately, in general, has just gotten so, like, far reduced.
Yeah, it's very off meta now.
Yeah. And that feels like it's just in response to some of like the god AWP players, right? Like Simple, Ziwu, Shiro. Just feels like if you're going up against someone trying to hyperactive AWP, you will just die, and with how good everyone's flashes are and everything as well. Miss the days of good old Mr. Device. PJL Krakow 2017 match versus SK Gaming was one of the best AWP performances on Overpass I'd probably ever seen in my life, in case anyone's interested in watching an old match. Risk. Oh, beautiful. Emilio's gone. Westmoreland trades at the second cleared connector, and
Wow.
Risk is just as deadly. Playing up close. We know this already from the A site, but that's not his only angle. Runs out of bullets, so maybe that Valve nerf is gonna be enough to give Lynn Vision a bit more breathing room, a bit more space, but god damn, Risk is looking stunning.
Yeah, barely saw half of those players for more than a fraction of a second. Just so quick in each of those fights. And Ruben is still at least a defender over on this A side, and he's bunkered down over towards long. If he gets full clear, that would be dangerous. Yeah, Zacher went hunting, and Ruben peeked out from his corner. Back to 2-on-2, and in spite of the heroics of Risk in a very committed spot, a very instigate-heavy AWP position, they are looking worse for wear. They're split between bomb sites, and Wenzi might need backup soon. Util sailing over, flash in as well, but Wenzi dodging all of it. G-Colt with nades out, but Wenzi cannot connect on the shot. Kira's here, and he drops the bomb. It's on bridge, 10 seconds, and Zacher had to take the fight. Kira tried to hold the bomb, and that will come back to haunt him. A 21st round here for Lynn Vision, and one step closer to closing Overpass.
I can't believe they actually end up winning the round after Risk comes through with those heroics. He's just been such an important factor. The second Risk goes down, they've lost so much connector control and everything as well. If not for Kate's initial death, that would have been just an easy breezy round from CR. Instead, now they face down the jaws of death in the series. Or, well, the map more than the series.
It's just kind of crazy. You know, you expect after you get 3 kills like it, you probably just win. But Counter-Strike ain't always so simple.
Oh,
Block on the
does that
smoke
do
there
anything?
from Zacher. I don't think it did too much. There's a minor gap in. Ooh. That's a mistake.
I don't think that was the gap. Yeah, that was just Wenzy trying to get in some action with the spam, but unfortunately, op shot right back, and Risk has missed his opportunity to try and equalize. Zaka able to find a big kill, perhaps the biggest kill, and Ruben position revealed. Amelia is there to trade a 4-on-2, and CR after a fantastic performance, a great showing so far, will looks like they might be wilting out of the game. Kate, some damage out of Starry, but it will not be enough. He needs to find the kill, is able to aggress through, but that just leaves Kira all the more lonely on this B-bomb site.
Yeah, Kira found as well, so a 1-on-3 now on the table. Kate is well spotted inside of Con, and only 46 HP. Nade pulled, and Amelia will close it.